The text at dawn. The phone buzzed on the nightstand, a sharp, insistent vibration that sliced through the pre-dawn silence. I jolted upright, heart hammering, the sheets clinging to my sweat-damp skin. The room was a blur of shadows, the faint glow of streetlights seeping through the blinds, painting slivers of orange across the empty side of the bed. Claire hadn't come home. Again. The clock read 4:17 a.m., and the weight of her absence pressed against my chest, heavy as the humid July air. I grabbed the phone, my fingers trembling, and saw her name on the screen. One text. I'm fine. Needed space. Talk tomorrow. Ace. The word burned, a vague, jagged thing that could mean anything or nothing. I stared at the message, the blue light searing my eyes, and felt the first stirrings of something dark. Anger, maybe, or fear. Or both. My thumb hovered over the reply button, but no words came. What do you say to a wife who vanishes into the night and offers 4 words as an explanation? I set the phone down, the click against the wood deafening in the quiet. The house creaked as if it too was holding its breath. Claire had been distant for weeks. Little things at first. A missed dinner, a vague excuse about work, her perfume lingering on a jacket I didn't recognize. I'd brushed it off, told myself it was stress. Her marketing job was brutal. Late nights pitching campaigns to clients who never slept. But last week I'd found a receipt in her purse. Dinner for 2 at La Bella Vita, a restaurant we'd never been to together. The date was a Tuesday when she'd told me she was working late. I'd held that slip of paper, my pulse thudding in my ears, and convinced myself it was a client dinner. People don't cheat in places as public as La Bella Vita, do they? I didn't sleep after the text. I sat on the couch, the leather cold against my thighs, and replayed every moment of the past month. The way her laughter had grown sharp, like she was laughing at something I couldn't see. The way she'd started locking her phone, a habit she'd never had in 8 years of marriage. The way her eyes darted away when I asked about her day. Each memory was a pinprick, small but cumulative, building a picture I didn't want to see. By 7 a.m. the house was too quiet, the kind of quiet that screams. I made coffee, the machine's hiss a poor substitute for conversation. My phone stayed silent. No follow-up from Claire, no apology, no explanation. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. Her cheerful recorded voice a mockery of the woman who'd left me in the dark. I paced the kitchen, the tiles cold under my bare feet, and noticed her running shoes by the door. She hadn't taken them. Claire never missed her morning run, not even when we fought. The shoes stared at me, pristine and accusing, as if they knew something I didn't. At noon she finally called. Her voice was tight, like she was holding something back. "I'm at the office," she said. "Can we talk tonight?" "Where were you?" I asked, my voice rough, the words spilling out before I could stop them. "Pause too long. I told you I needed space. I crashed at a friend's." "Which friend?" Another pause. "Does it matter, Ethan?" I needed to think. I gripped the phone, my knuckles white. "You couldn't think here. With me." Her sigh crackled through the speaker. "I'll be home by 6. We'll talk then." She hung up before I could respond. I stood there, the phone still pressed to my ear, the silence louder than ever. My mind raced, conjuring images I didn't want. Claire in someone else's apartment, someone else's arms. I shook my head, trying to dislodge the thought. She wouldn't. Not Claire, who'd cried with me when we lost our first pregnancy, who'd held my hand through my father's funeral. But doubt is a parasite, and it was burrowing deep. The day dragged, each hour a slow drip of dread. I tried to work, but the spreadsheets on my laptop blurred into nonsense. I kept checking my phone, hoping for another text, something to bridge the gap between her words and the truth. At 5:30, I heard her car in the driveway. My stomach twisted, a mix of relief and rage. I stood by the window, watching her step out, her dark hair catching the fading sunlight. She looked tired, her shoulders slumped, but there was something else. A guardedness in her movements, like she was bracing for a storm. She walked in, dropping her bag by the door. "Hey," she said, her voice soft but wary. Hey! I crossed my arms, leaning against the counter. Where were you last night? She hesitated, her eyes flicking to the floor. I told you a friend's. Which friend, Claire? Why is this so hard to answer? Her jaw tightened and she met my gaze, her green eyes sharp. You're acting like I owe you a play-by-play of my night. I needed space, Ethan. I'm here now. Can we just talk? Talk about what? My voice rose, cracking. You disappear, send me a cryptic text at 4 a.m, and now you're acting like I'm the problem? She flinched, but her voice stayed steady. I'm not saying you're the problem. Things haven't been right between us. You know that. Did know. The late nights, the arguments over nothing, the way we'd stopped touching each other. But knowing didn't make it easier to hear. So you run off. To who, Claire? Tell me. She turned away, running a hand through her hair. It's not what you think. Then what is it? I stepped closer, my voice low, trembling. Because right now it feels like you're hiding something. Or someone. Her silence was an answer, heavy and suffocating. She walked to the living room, sinking onto the couch, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. I didn't mean for this to happen, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. My heart stopped. What didn't you mean? She looked up, tears in her eyes. I've been seeing someone. It's not serious. But last night I was with him. The world tilted. I gripped the back of a chair, the wood biting into my palm. Who? Does it matter? Her voice broke. It was a mistake, Ethan. I was lonely and you were always working and I needed to feel something. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to erase the image of her with someone else. But all I could do was stand there, my chest tight, my throat burning. You could have talked to me, I said, my voice hoarse. You could have tried. I did try, she snapped, standing now, her tears spilling over. But you were never here. Not really. You were always in your head, your work, your grief. I was drowning, Ethan, and you didn't see it. So you fuck someone else. The words were out before I could stop them, raw and ugly. She recoiled but didn't deny it. The truth hung between us, sharp and irreversible. I turned away, my vision blurring, and noticed her phone on the counter. It buzzed, a single notification lighting up the screen. A name, Mark. No last name, just Mark. And a message. Last night was incredible. When can I see you again? I froze, the words searing into my brain. Claire saw it too, her face paling. Ethan, don't. I grabbed the phone, my hands shaking. Incredible, huh? That's what you needed. Something incredible. She reached for me, but I stepped back. It's not like that, she said, her voice desperate. I was going to end it. I swear. Then why didn't you? I shouted, throwing the phone onto the couch. Why is he texting you about last night like it's some fucking love story? She sank back onto the couch, sobbing now, her hands covering her face. I don't know, she whispered. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I stood there, the room spinning, my life unraveling. I wanted to hate her, to walk away and never look back. But I saw the woman I'd loved for 8 years, broken and lost, and part of me still wanted to fix her. Fix us. But then I saw the text again in my mind. When can I see you again? And something snapped. I grabbed my keys and walked to the door. I can't do this right now, I said, my voice cold. I need space. She looked up, her face streaked with tears. Ethan, please. But I was already gone, the door slamming behind me. The night air hit me like a slap, and I stood on the porch, my breath ragged. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Claire. I'm so sorry. I love you. I stared at it, my thumb hovering over the reply button. And then, without responding, I turned off the phone and walked into the dark.